Hi guys, so by the title you will know that we are delving into some deep stuff today. I have talked about this before, but for some of my newer subscribers, you might not have heard me talk about it, and it's bizarrely a question that gets asked of me a lot. Do I believe in God? The answer is no. No, I don't believe in God. And that does not mean that I judge you if you believe in God, whatever God that is. But we should all be open to be able to have our views. Now, my religious friends, I have people that believe in God. In fact, my mum believes in God. My grandma, who died last year, who I adored, she believed in God. She was a Sunderland fan. Those of you who are in the UK will know, in terms of football, my team in Newcastle and Sunderland are rivals. She was a Sunderland fan, and our political views were polar opposite. In fact, she liked Maggie Thatcher, and I would say full out to my grandma, I'm not sure why I like you, to be honest. It's a good job you're my grandma and you've got loads of other good qualities. But I have nothing against religious people. But what I do have a problem with, and this is not just with religion, people who cannot debate their beliefs. I will and have had many debates with racist bigots. And in fact, there's a girl that I follow on Twitter who is a disgusting racist. I was gonna say rapist there, that's not what I meant. She's a racist, right? Her views are abhorrent to me. Her views on everything actually are abhorrent. Like we don't agree on anything. But we got discussing things on Twitter. Initially, it was a sparring match, just a bicker, just a row. And then I thought, you know what, how can I possibly learn anything if I don't have proper debate and try and understand why this young girl, has such abhorrent views that upset me and trigger me in all kinds of ways? How can I really understand and learn and how can I teach her even if I don't understand her motivation for it? And the same with religion. I think if you believe in God, you should be able to, and this is very much a British thing anyway, I should be able to absolutely rip the piss out of you and you should be able to take it. And equally, you can rip the piss out of me for not believing in God. And you can say, well, you're dead meat when you get to the pearly gates because, or whatever God you believe in, because God's going to have you. You go into hell, and you can have a good laugh, although that might upset you, I don't know. But you can think, well, eternal damnation or whatever, you've had it. So, and I don't mind that, because I think that's absolutely ludicrous. And none of us know the answer, is the truth. But my thoughts are, and I'm going to tell you these, and if you don't like them, that's fine. It's okay not to agree with everything that people say. My thoughts are this. I like science. And I would class myself as spiritual. So I believe in, I believe in energy. Energy is not really a disputable fact. Energies, people have energy, and I believe in, that we do live on in energy in some form. I don't believe in reincarnation as such, but energy as a form, energy never dies, that continues. So I think that's a comforting thought in terms of life and death, that my husband Ross, who died last year, we talked a lot about energy within his funeral and that, and for the children, they understand that his energy actually is still on earth. It might not be put together in the way that we liked in him, in Ross as we knew him, but his energy's about, it's here. It's somewhere. We might not be able to sort of sense it or see it, but it's there. And that's a comforting factor. So I guess that's spiritual. I meditate. I'm very connected with self, and I stay open to the world. I like nature. I like all that stuff. All of that stuff actually is quite spiritual. What I don't like is somebody telling me that there's a man in the sky that's controlling everything, and giving me some old, outdated book to live my life by, or using it to judge other people. That is bollocks. That's not good enough, because there's some disgusting things in all of the religious texts. So let's not, we can pick and choose, and absolutely people who The majority of people that believe in any religion are tolerant, decent people who use it as a tool to, they pick the best bits, and there's also loads of good stuff in all of the texts. And I've read the Bible. I haven't read the Quran, although a Muslim friend of mine, Muslim neighbor, gave me the Quran, and I will eventually read it, because I don't think I can argue effectively if I've not read the full text of things, even though I'm not going to lie, the Bible was so boring. Oh my God. It's not surprising people pick and choose their favourite bits, because you really need the highlight reel, because it's like a snooze fest. But anyway, I did read it out of pure... I was quite young at the time, and I wanted to prove a point, mostly. It was mostly so I could go, religion's crap. I read the Bible, so, you know, I could, like, say it with conviction. But yeah, my biggest issue with any of these clubs is that they are just that. It's just a club and a collection of people who believe certain things, and yet it is used to create all of this separation, when I don't believe that at all. And as you know from this channel, I'm a positive person. In fact, there was a Jehovah's Witness that used to come to my house, and I swear I converted her to atheism, because she used to come round, and after a while, because she came around with such negativity, end is nigh, the world is rubbish, all this awful stuff that's in the media, she would focus on all of the negative stuff. And then she'd come round to me, and I'd go, oh, Mary, what's going on, babe? Like, what's happening? Like, why are you focused on that? When you're telling me about this, what about this lovely thing that happened? And I would talk to her about more positive things and try and focus her mind on that. And actually, I think it made her go, oh. My next thoughts are on God, that if, let's suspend our belief slightly and go, if there is a God, okay, what kind of God makes babies have AIDS? That doesn't seem like a very nice God. It seems quite cruel. And what kind of God makes people gay, for example, and then says you shouldn't do that? What kind of God says sex feels great, and then says, but don't do it actually, don't do it before marriage, and don't do it like in a way that should be frowned upon? I don't know, what, you just do it to make babies, to procreate. But yeah. And also, and this is always one that makes me snigger, snigger's a good word, isn't it? Is the religious garb, like the get-up, the garments, all the gear. Like, is there a God sat there going, oh God, this is gonna be so funny, I'm gonna make them wear this. On a Sunday, you've got to wear this, and you've got to wear this hat, and this, and you've got to have a beard, or you've got to have whatever it is, you got to shave your head. Oh God, what can I make them wear? This beard, they'll do it as well. Like, what kind of God is sat there in the clouds, doing that? Just, what's he doing it for a laugh? Because to be quite honest, if there is a God, okay, I'm suspending my belief completely. If there's a God and I die and I go to heaven, we are having it out. I'm going to be livid. I'm not going to be chuffed to be in heaven. I'm going to be furious, because I'm going to be like, well, what were you doing? What were you doing? Like, you were judging, you were kind of having your hand in a little bit, and then not sort of sorting the job out. Like, I don't get that at all. I don't understand that. It seems like the God that is being described to me is quite sadistic. Now, that just seems a weird thing. And I once had a conversation with a religious friend of mine who, years ago, and she said, yeah, but before religion, we were all raping and pillaging each other. I was like, well, were we? Or is that a cultural shift that thankfully we've had? Like, I don't think, although a lot of the laws, and this was her argument, were originally based around the law, the commandments and things like that. Yeah, but the commandments were made up by people, babe. The commandments were made up. So that's just people going, actually, we could do with some rules. I'm down with that, a level of rules going, don't kill people in that. Like, that's bad. Don't rape, don't pillage. Fine, I'm cool with that. But you know what the funny thing is? I don't believe in God, and I ain't raping and pillaging people. So it's not really about that, is it? It's about just being a good person. and caring about other people. And I just don't need that. Now, again, as I said at the start, caveat, most people who believe in God, they do a little prayer, it makes them feel good. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I've spoken about it before, and it always makes me laugh, is when Ross was going in for his second MRI to check whether he had tumours all over his body, not just brain. And I was waiting for him outside, and I was on my own. And obviously I was upset and worried and all those things. And for a minute, and I mean it was like a minute, and I was in the disabled toilet, I thought, what if there is a God? Like, should I hedge my bets and just like ask for some help? And then, because I felt ridiculous, I went, okay, if there is a God and I've got it wrong, whatever, Jesus, Allah, whichever one, soz, and look after Ross, because he's a good bloke and that. It was literally that. And then I sort of smirked to myself. I was like, this is the worst atheist fake non-prayer. At my daughter's school, and I have spoken to the school about this, and it's a great school, so I'm not slagging it off. They do prayers in assembly, which bothers me massively, because there's people of all different religions within that school, and those of us and who don't believe in anything. Not that I go to the school, but my kids don't really believe in God. They don't. And it's not that I've kind of went, you must not believe in God. I've told them what different people believe, and I said, it's up to you, but the burden of proof isn't on me to discount God. The burden of proof is on somebody who believes in God to show me God. Or if there's a God, he should show himself to me. And don't say I haven't been open to it, because as a kid, I was totally open to God. He didn't come, so they ain't a God. Anyway, in the school, they've been praying, and my daughter's been going, but Mum, like, why do we have to say it, like, amen? And I said, well, you don't have to say it. And I spoke to the school about it, because I don't think it's very good. And what annoyed me about it was the prayers, because I asked Brooke, were things like, let's thank God for the nice sunny day, the warm clothes we have, the food in our belly. And I just couldn't understand, why can't we just take religious element out of that and just say, I feel grateful for? You know from watching this channel, I'm down with gratitude. I'm totally down with feeling grateful and being loving and all of that stuff. We don't need God, people. You don't need God to be a good person. You don't need God to be kind and loving and connected and spiritually aware. You just don't have to have the belief that somebody's in control of your life. I really don't want that. I'm not going to live my life by some made up rule book that patently men wrote years ago. It has nothing to do with our current life. There's a talking snake in it. Adam and Eve were brother and sister. Not a great start. So I'm obviously being tongue-in-cheek in this video, but I genuinely don't think that the religious clubs are helpful. Now, I will never, ever, ever, ever be the person that goes, oh, you can't believe in that stuff. If it gets you through, everybody believes different things. Whatever gets you through, life is confusing as it is. And if it makes you feel good, then do it. But what I'm saying is just question it. Just because you've been told something doesn't mean that it's true. And because people ask me, the answer is no. I absolutely do not believe in any kind of God. I don't need somebody to control my life. I really don't. So, yeah, that's it really. God slammed.